Oh, I could go on any kind of diet and lose weight and then gain it all back. In fact, I had lost at one time 100 pounds and then slowly gained it back. And it was because of my mindset. So this time when I tackled it when I was 60, I had to go into my mindset because I didn't believe I was worthy, like you were talking. I thought everybody else was worthy, and I had to go actually into my past, learn how to forgive others and deal with some of the trauma of my life because each one of us is created so beautifully and so unique. There's not another person like us anywhere. So we are worthy. And until I realized that and learned how to actually love myself, I don't believe I ever would have lost the weight and kept it off. Now I know for certain because I feel like I'm worthy of losing the weight, being healthy, keeping it off. So I love the mindset because if we don't deal with that, we'll just gain it back because we're going to find a way to self-sabotage yourself. And so you kind of have to back up the truck.
Exactly. And when you went through, I'm curious, when you went through this whole, it was this mindset and going back on the journey and having to forgive, how long did that process take? And did you have did you stumble along that journey?
You know what? I think that we all continue to stumble our way. My journey's never been perfect. I go up and down a little bit. So what I would say is I took a course on emotional intelligence and dealing with your past. And so that helped me. I worked through it about 4 months. But I would say I'm on the journey of the forgiving and the forgiveness. It took me about a year because I had realized I had forgiven my brother, but I hadn't forgiven myself, which was huge. I actually had to look at myself and say, I forgive you for being 275 pounds when your children were young and you couldn't get out skiing with them. You had to stay in the lodge. I literally had to go back because I had believed somewhere in my heart that somehow it was okay, and I had told myself that I didn't need to forgive myself. So until I actually forgave myself for all that I had done to my body and all I had done to my family, then that's when freedom came. But it's taken it's a process, and I think we have to continue going down that road. I don't think we ever make it, and I do know that I will never gain the weight back because I know for certain, this is where I know I've made it. I've made peace with myself, and I know I'm worth it, so I'll never lose that. As far as other things, sometimes you have to continue down the road. Have I forgiven my brother? Totally, 100%. Have I forgiven myself? Yes. But will I sometimes stumble on my eating program? Yeah. I'll sometimes make choices that were not the best. So that kind of thing is still evolving. And I have an 80-20% rule on my eating. If I'm 80% really, really good, once in a while, like yesterday at Mother's Day, I had a scone. So, yeah. So it is I think it's a process that we go through the rest of our life. But if this is the truth, if I can do it, because I would look at before and after pictures and I'd say, oh, that's nice for them, but I'll never be there because I'm doomed to be fat. But now if I can do it, anybody out there can do it also. But I believe it starts with the mindset.
100%. And I love that you are so authentic with your journey, because I think lots of people think they have to be perfect. And I always let them know it's okay. Just get back up, keep going. Life is a journey. Sometimes when people reach their destination, they realize they didn't enjoy the journey. It took forever to get to their destination. And now what do? So as opposed to saying, this is a process and it's going to take time, that's okay. But just keep going, never quit.
Never, never, ever quit on yourself. And because you are worthy, and we are all worthy of our health, I believe. So what are some you've mentioned that you have some 9 steps of healthy living. So eating would be one, would gym be the other? What are some other ideas?
So these steps are based upon the 18 years of functional medicine testing. And actually what I see is that people are loaded with toxins. And it could be from their food. It could be from what they're putting on their body. It could be from their home or work environment. And over the years, it accumulates and puts stress on detoxification. So first is to be aware and look through each section of your home, what toxic materials you're using. It could also, and start in the kitchen for what you're eating, obviously. Non-GMO organic is best, especially with something called glyphosate, which is a pre-harvest spray that causes cancer and developmental disorders. So look at the toxins. That's one. The second step is eating. The third step is, what are you drinking? So many people get migraine headaches, and it could be from dehydration. Lots of people, their mood changes, their energy levels change. And then when I inquire, well, okay, we look at what's their intake of beverages. Lots of people don't drink water to begin with, and then they don't drink enough. So it's when you sweat, you release water. You're not releasing Gatorade. So the whole purpose is to replenish the body with water. Our eyes have water in it. Our bones have 22%. The body needs the water. Then the other step is movement. And even if it's 10 minutes a day, what type of exercise resonates with you? And there are so many, and it doesn't have to be expensive. All you need is a pair of sneakers that fit you properly. Mm-hmm. Then we go into sleep, which that's when the body does its healing. And I always like to remind people, don't stay up for 2 days in a row. Meaning if you wake up at 6 or 7 in the morning, go to bed before midnight. If you go to bed after midnight, your body's rhythm is now up for 2 days in a row. And that does not do you any good, because that's how the body heals. Then going into stress reduction, because you could eat all organic, take supplements, work out, but if you have stress in your life that you don't know how to deal with in a positive manner, it actually shuts down digestion and raises all of the toxins and free radicals in your body, and can really take away years from your life. So stress reduction is key. Mindset is another step that we have to incorporate, and there's so many ways we can do that. And you have to do that every day. It's like a muscle. You have to work on one's mindset, and then being a savvy consumer. So look at what you are buying and what company's making it, like talcum powder that was then linked to the breast cancer. So look at what other things that company is making. Being a savvy consumer is also being your own advocate and not saying, oh, just because they have great marketing, should I buy their product? So It's really owning your life with these 9 steps.
Right. I love it. And at being your own advocate, because so often we leave everything up to everybody else. And that's what I learned too through my journey, that I was the one that was responsible if I was going to be healthy. And so I love everything you've said. So we're almost out of time. Nancy, tell the audience how they can get a hold of you. I'd love for them to be able to look you up and see what's happening in your world.
So I'm on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram under Nancy Guberti. So it's just my first and last name. And my website is nancyguberti.com. If you want to check out my sons, they're Michael Guberti and Mark Guberti with a C. And then Total Wellness Empowerment .com /membership. And even on, if you have any questions, just ask me on Facebook, and I always answer them in an upcoming YouTube or in my Facebook group. So it's all about empowering others to take charge.
Wonderful. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you.
So if you have any questions, comments, or would like to know more about Nancy on our show, please contact me by heading over to my website at lorrainehoving.com. Here you can sign up for my email list to find out what is happening in my world of never too late ever. And in closing, I'd like to ask what you believe is the single most important character quality that produces resilience, because I think that you were absolutely resilient in finding when Mark was sick, you actually took to task and found out what would heal him. And I love that story. I love that. So what is one of the qualities that produce that resilience in you to go be your own advocate for your son?
It has to be that you must believe in your own abilities and have a higher purpose. So for me, it was the love of a child, and that I believed that we could find justice for him.
I love that. I love it. The love of a child and the love of a mother. Beautiful after Mother's Day. Thank you, Nancy. And we will see you back next week, which I love that we're going to see you. And remember out there, it is never too late. It's never too late to be your own advocate. Never too late to lose weight. Never too late to go after your dreams. It is never too late to live a life of purpose. It is just never too late. And we will see you back here next week.